Hi everyone, in this video we're going to have a look at some of the free search engine optimization tools that you can use. Now, before we get into that, I just want to make you aware of a couple of tools such as Semrush or Moz, for example, so Moz.com or Semrush.com. Now these tools are kind of all-in-one tools. They'll do things like keyword research for you, they'll do things like tracking keywords, they'll show you where your backlinks are coming from. But from a small business point of view, they're really expensive. Just looking at this Semrush pricing plan here, €99 per month, 199 euro per month, so nearly 200 and something euro per month for that. And for the Moz one, you're kind of looking at similar type prices. So I always think these all-in-one tools, they're fantastic. If you can afford them, go for it, because it will really help with your SEO. But if you're on a budget or you're trying to do things as cost effectively as possible, some of these tools they price themselves out of the market for small businesses. So I want to just go through some of the free tools, a lot of Google tools that I would use for just doing initial search engine optimization on websites. So we'll talk about how to do keyword research. We'll have a look at tools for backlinks, for measuring the links that other websites are sending to your website. We'll have a look at how to test your page load speed. And then finally, I'll show you how you would optimize a page or a product or a category on your own WordPress websites that you've been working with. So the first tool that we're going to have a look at is one for doing keyword research. Now, I said that to do keyword research, it's a good idea to just go into a room with a whiteboard and write down as many keywords in and around the business area that you're working in, the product names, the service that you provide, for example. But that will only yield so many keywords for you, and there will always be keywords that you'll have forgotten about or that just didn't occur to you at the time. So the first free tool that we'll look at is one that is now built into the Google Ads platform. It used to be a separate tool, but now it's built into it. So if you were to just open up a browser and do a Google search for Google Keyword Planner, you'll have to sign into your Google account to get access to this, but Google Keyword Planner is what we're looking for. So on Google Keyword Planner here, I can go and I can discover new keywords, for example. Now this is all tied into the Google Ads platform, and there's elements that are specific to the Google Ads platform, but just for generating some keyword ideas, we can use this discover new keywords. Now I've got this website over here, my withdigitalo4.eu, my sports shop, my fictional sports shop.ie, and I wanted to try and optimize this website for search. So in the Google Keyword Planner here, I'm going to go to discover new keywords, and I might just type in here some of the keywords that are specific to my business. So sports shop, and if you do a comma, it'll allow you to add more. Sports shop, sports store, for example. And another nice feature here is that you can paste in the URL of your website, and what will happen is Google will go to your website and it will start pulling out some info from it, and it will try and come up with some keywords based on the content that you already have on that website. So sports shop, and sports store, those are just three keywords to get started with. Remember, keywords don't mean single words. It would actually be better if we just refer to them as key phrases, because they can be full sentences and full questions as well. So I'll get those results, and we'll see then what Google comes back with based on those three key phrases that I've inputted there. So sports shop and sports store. Now this is the sort of answer that you get back from Google Keyword Planner. Here you can see the average monthly searches for that keyword, so between 100 to 1,000, and the competition is high on that. Sports store, for example, is between 1,000 to 10,000, so there's a lot more searches going on for that, and the competition is only medium for that search phrase. Now it could be because this all goes back to knowing and understanding your audience, but in Ireland, for example, we tend not to refer to shops as stores. Stores is more of an American import, but when it comes to e-commerce, actually, we tend more to talk about stores rather than shops. So maybe there is an opportunity there with low or medium competition on the key phrase sports store, but a lot of monthly searches for it, so I'm hoping to try and rank for that. Now, some of the other detail over here is specific to the Google ad itself and how much it would cost you to have that Google ad. So you can see at the low end, probably about 31 cents per click, and at the higher end, about 87 cents per click for Sports Store if I was generating Google ads. And you can scroll down through all of those and get all those extra keyword ideas that you never thought about when you were doing the brainstorming session, where you wrote down the list of keywords on a whiteboard. For example, sports outlets online, sports shoes.ie, champion sports shop online, and you can go on and on and on. And the nice thing about this is you can also download them as a CSV file, or basically as an Excel spreadsheet, so that you have a copy of them. So sports store 1,000 to 10,000, that looks like maybe something that I'll try and optimize my website for later on. And sports store is more of one of those fathead or those generic type keywords which would show up higher in the hierarchy of our website. So maybe our home page we will try and optimize for sports store, whereas the longer tail keywords, the more product specific ones, would be at the lower end of the hierarchy, and they'd be a lot longer in terms. So it'd be something like Adidas Original Stan Smith Grey trainers, for example, if you're getting down to that very, very specific product level. Okay, so Google Ads, just to make you aware, Google Ads Keyword Planner is a tool that will help you to come up with some keywords, and it'll give you some basic information as well about whether that keyword is high competition, low competition, or medium, and how many average monthly searches. Another used to be free tool, now there is a charge of €20 per month, I think is what they're charging at the moment for it, but for additional features, but you can do a lot with the free version still, is a tool called Ubersuggest. So it's Ubersuggest, and it was developed by a guy called Neil Patel, who is an SEO expert. And actually, if you have a look at any of Neil Patel's blog posts, they're very, very informative when it comes to the area of SEO. So Ubersuggest, it works in a similar manner to Google Keyword Planner. You just type in here, for example, a key phrase, sports shop, and then it gives me some information based on it. So what's the average monthly search volume for that key phrase? What sort of difficulty is there between 0 and 100 in terms of SEO, in terms of paid? And again, if I was going to be doing Google Ads later on, what the kind of average cost per click would be on that key phrase. Okay, and then when you scroll down, it gives you some more keyword ideas, and obviously if I was to click on any of these, it would then give me this sort of information then as well. So Ubersuggest is another free tool that you can use. It is one that requires you to log in with your Google account, so it will basically give you maybe 10 bits of detail, and then if you want to see further detail, you've got to log in with your Google account. So Ubersuggest, another one for generating some keyword ideas. Okay, so if I just click on keyword ideas, actually, for sports shop, here then it shows me which websites in Ireland, because that's the area that I've set, which websites in Ireland are currently ranking #1, and so on, all the way down in the search engine result page, for that key phrase sports shop. So I can see that Lifestyle Sports is the #1 ranking website for the key phrase sport shop. Now this is great for doing some competitive analysis also, because you can type in a key phrase and then you can see who ranks #1 for it. And what you can do is you can go to that website and you can have a look at their content, for example, and you can see what is it that they're doing that allows them to rank for that key phrase, and then you can go and redevelop your content and just make it 10 times better than lifestyle in this case. If I change this to sports shops, you can see that it slightly changes. If I do for sports shop Ireland, lifestyle seem to have the top locked out in all of those key phrases. Sports shop Waterford. When you get down to the local level, you might see some differences in the results. So Sports Direct with their /Waterford page is the one that's showing up number one there. So with those keyword ideas, it gives you an idea of what people are searching for, what the search volume is, and what the difficulty in terms of trying to rank for that keyword is. And then you can also see who's number one all the way down, what your competition is up to. You can see how many backlinks as well those other websites have going to them, and what their domain score is. The domain score, we'll come to it a little bit later on, but the domain score is kind of an idea thought up by Moz. So the domain score is a number between 0 and 100, and it just basically says how much of an authority, how much of an expert, or how trustworthy a website or a domain is. So those are some free tools for doing keyword research, but there's also Google itself as a search engine is really, really helpful for coming up with some key phrases, because every time you type into, say, the Google search bar here at the top, it will autofill with searches that people have previously done. So for example, if I have an engineering supplies company, e-commerce website, and I'm trying to find out, right, what are the best key phrases to use for selling welding equipment, for example. So I might type in here welding, and a little tip for you is to do welding space and then A. And then it shows me a couple of the search terms beginning with A that people are searching for already, because don't forget, with this autofill, these are actual searches that people are doing. So welding apron, for example, that might be a product that we have. So that gives me a key phrase idea. And then I'll do welding B, so welding blanket, welding boots, for example. And then you basically just work through the entire dictionary there. Welding C, so welding clamps, and it's just given me key phrase ideas. So if I did a search for, let's say for example, learn digital marketing, it will return some results for me here, but down at the bottom of those search results, there's usually a searches related to the term that you've just searched for. And again, these are actual searches that people have done. So if I can't rank my website for learn digital marketing, for example, the Digital Marketing Institute just have the number one position locked out, and I just can't get near them no matter what I do. If I come down to the end here, I can get some other ideas of actual searches that people have done. So, how to learn digital marketing step by step, or learn digital marketing Google, or, how to learn digital marketing. So there's other ones there. And also, don't forget, there is the people also ask, which are other terms that people are asking as well. So how can I learn digital marketing by myself? How can I learn digital marketing for free? Is digital marketing hard to learn? And there you've got basically the titles written for you for any blog post. So if you're going to try and create a little bit of content to get people to arrive onto your website so that you can eventually sell them your product or your service, there's some titles. Look, how can I learn digital marketing by myself? I might write a blog post about that, just listing out all of the ways that somebody can do that. And then as they're working down through that blog post, I'll have some internal links to maybe an online digital marketing course that I have on my website or whatever it is. Okay, so using Google itself, there's lots of clues, there's lots of answers within the Google search engine result page itself. So another tool that's really handy for doing SEO is another free tool from Google called Google Trends, and you can just type in trends.google.com, and here then you get to see search volumes and basically what's happening with search criteria. So if, let's say, we have an online pet shop and we're selling, for example, dog toys, I can do a search here for dog toys and it will show me then in the region that I'm operating in, the United States, over the past 12 months, what is happening with dog toys. And you might just assume that people are searching for the phrase dog toys consistently. It's just the same search all the time. But here you can see, by looking at Google Trends, we can see when there's an increase or a decrease in searches for that, and then we can tailor our marketing to suit that. You can also do a comparison as well. So if I did, for example, if we're doing dog toys, let's do cat toys, then you can also see that it will show you what's happening with the people searching for cat toys. Not as many searches for cat toys as there are for dog toys, and there is a rise here and then it drops off. And if you look at it, the dates, that means it's coming up to Christmas. So basically starting in October, people are starting to think about making purchases of dog toys, cat toys for their dogs and cats. And I wouldn't have known that unless I had a look at Google Trends. And you can change it obviously for the regions then as well. So if we change it for Ireland, it will change and it will show us. Now it looks a little bit erratic here, it looks a little bit all over the place, but it's just because it's a smaller data sample, a smaller population, so it's a little bit more erratic, but the same peaks are there. Look, people at Christmas time, but then, you know, there's a massive spike in the searches there. There's a massive spike in the searches here for dog toys in August. Cat toys really go up. You know, they're kind of on below dog toy searches all the time, but here they really rise. And by looking at those Google Trends, you know, you start to realize that there are different times of the year when people will do searches for that key phrase, and you'll find that if you go off and you did a little bit of research, why are dog toys so popular there in August, why are cat toys so popular there, you'll probably find that it's like, you know, World Dog Day or International Cat Day, or Crufts, for example, the dog show is on and people, you know, see those dogs running around on the screen and the dogs look happy, so they want to make their dog happy, so they'll go online and do a search for dog toys. All of those sort of extra searches and bumps in searches and falls in searches, you can find that information by going to Google Trends, and it's a really, really handy tool. Another tool, and it's related to the people also ask here. There's another website here, and it's called alsoasked.com, and with alsoasked.com you can just type in a search term and then it will show you a little directory tree of all of the people also asked results that show up on a Google search engine result page. So I've run one here. I've run it for dog toys. So if you were trying to rank for dog toys, what other search phrases result from people searching for the word dog toys? And like, it shows you in a tree here that you can move around. So if I, you know, scroll up and I find one of them, what are the best toys for dogs, for example? And then you get lots and lots of different information here. So what's the safest chew toy for dogs? And then there's, you know, should I leave my dog toys out? What toys can I leave my dog alone with? You know, safety for the animals. People are concerned that if they get something for them and they leave them with it, are they going to choke on it? So, you know, all that information has just come from a search for dog toys, and now we're basically getting a lot of content, or at least titles for blog posts written for us as we go along. Okay, so if you're selling dog toys from your online pet store, you could write some content such as, do dogs get lonely, and address those sort of questions then. That these are questions that people are actually asking on Google search engine result pages. Okay, So that is just about keyword research. Another tool then, another thing that actually is, really important when it comes to search engine optimization are the backlinks, or the number of links that you can get from a website, from another website back to your website. And backlinks are kind of like a vote of confidence in your website. So if a company mentions you on their website, it's basically them saying, look, we appreciate the content over there. And then Google will look at your website and say, well, look, why are they getting so many votes of confidence from all of these other websites? We better kind of take notice of them, and we'll kind of move them a little bit higher up in the search engine result page. Now, as we discussed in the notes, there's different types of links that you can get, and the more powerful links are links that come from higher authority websites, and the least useful links are the ones that basically anybody can do. If I was to go onto an online forum and just keep commenting my web address, Google probably isn't even going to look at that as a backlink, or especially a vote of confidence or a vote in my website, because anybody can just set up an account on one of those and just keep pasting in domain names, whereas it's a lot more difficult to get a backlink from a high authority website such as the New York Times. So I've come back to Ubersuggest, because on Ubersuggest there is a section there that allows you to check out the backlinks for a website. So I've just put in here the WIT website, so wit.ie, and you can see the domain score, so that score from 0 to 100, again, depending on the authority or the expertise or the trustworthiness of that website, is 72. So it's actually, the domain score for WIT is great. You can see that there's 403,000 backlinks. Now, it's not a case of the more backlinks that you can get. It's about the authority of those backlinks that you can get. Referring domains, so those are the number of domains that are actually sending links over. And then when you scroll down, you can see the domains that are sending over backlinks, and you can see the domain scores of 100. So these are really, really top end websites, and as you scroll down you can see, look, there's one from the New York Times. So WIT has got some article in the New York Times to send a link over to the WIT website. So Google looks at it and says, the New York Times, who we hold in high esteem in terms of search, is talking about this website over here, so we should maybe hold that website in a little bit higher esteem, because the New York Times does. So backlinks, really important, and just a tool then for checking where are you getting your backlinks from. And it's actually difficult to control it, because anybody can just create a link to your website. So you'll find with your own website that you might think you've just got a link from your supplier's website to yours and you've got one backlink. When you actually do one of these backlink checks, you'll find that there's lots and lots of websites that are actually linking into your website. Okay, so keyword research done, backlinks done. The next one is to do with kind of technical side of your website, how fast the page loads, for example. So a generic kind of overall starting point for checking your technical SEO is a website called SEO Optima. So it's seoptima.com, and when you arrive on it, there'll be like a little kind of a Google search there again, and you just type in your URL, and then it goes off and it assesses your website. And you can see I've done it here for withdigital04.eu, and it's telling me I've got a B-. My page could be better, and it breaks it down into sections here. My SEO is quite good, my usability is not great, my performance is not great, I've got no social links on there, so I don't have my Facebook, my Instagram or anything set up, and the security is a bit questionable. So SEO Optima is a good indication of where you are with your website at the moment, and as you scroll down it will show you where you've gone wrong and where you've gone right, and as you scroll down through it, then like things like security, it's probably going to tell me I don't have an SSL cert, for example. So you know, the page load speed, no social, like I said, and you know, I don't have HTTPS and all of that sort of stuff set up. So it's a good tool. It just gives you a kind of indication, a good starting point of where you are. So if you put your own URL in there and just run it, you'll see where you need to do the work. Now, one of the most important things for from a technical point of view for showing up higher in the Google search engine result page is the page load speed, because obviously if your page takes ages to load, people are going to get fed up and they're going to leave. And Google looks at that and says, why when we send somebody over to this website, why are they leaving it straight away? Or why are they leaving it before it's even loaded? So they will be able to determine whether that page is loading quickly or slowly, and then they'll just say, look, we're not even going to bother putting this on page 1 anymore because everybody keeps leaving that website. So gtmetrics.com. So gtmetrics.com, again, it's one of these ones where you can log in with your Google account, and I would suggest you log in because by default it will test your website's load speed from I think it's from Canada, but when you log in you can actually choose locations closer to Ireland. So you see here I'm after setting it to London, UK. So I'll just do a search here, or I'll just get them to test with digital04.eu, and it will go off and it will analyze, and it will then tell me how quickly or how slowly my website loads. Okay, so here's the performance report then for with Digital04, and you can see that the page load speed is an A, so it's loading in 3.4 seconds. Now it could load faster than that. Here's the number of requests. Remember when we spoke about websites and I said that every time you open up a browser and put in a URL, there's a whole little conversation that goes on where the browser is asking the server to send over specific information. Now the reason that's probably loading so quickly is because if you look at my homepage, there's actually nothing on the homepage, so it loads quickly enough. Now you can have a look then at GTmetrix, put in your own URL, test it, and you know, if your speed is kind of anything over 4 or 5 seconds, you're going to have an issue. So you want it to kind of ideally load within 2 seconds for people. Okay, let's have a look at my WordPress website, my online e-commerce sports shop, and I'll show you now how to go about optimizing the pages then for search engine result pages. So if I log into my dashboard, back end of my WordPress website, and I go to my plugins, I'm going to install a plugin. So I go to plugins and choose add new, and the plugin that I'm going to install here is one called Yoast SEO. So it's YOAST, and when I do a search for Yoast, this is what I'm looking for, Yoast SEO. And Yoast SEO is kind of the go-to SEO plugin for WordPress. Now there's lots of different SEO plugins that you could use, and you can go online and you can research the pros and cons of each of them. I'm just going to use Yoast SEO for now. You can see that there's over 5 million active installs. It's got pretty good rating, and it was updated 5 days ago, so it's a very current plugin. So I would just click on install now and then activate. I've already got it installed here in this website, so that's why I'm not seeing it, but I would see something like install now. So I'd install it and I'd activate it, and once I activate it, then it gives me over here the SEO options. And when I go to specific products or pages or categories or blog posts, for example, it has an extra SEO element block installed that allows me then to work on the SEO. So if I was to try and optimize, for example, one of my products, if I go into my products here, because now Yoast is installed, I now have this traffic light system over here beside my products, and you can see the SEO score for any of these products. None of these have been optimized yet. This one has. I've made a half attempt at it, so the SEO is okay. So green is good, orange is okay, and red is bad, and grey in this case means you've actually done nothing at all. So if I click in onto my product, as if I was going to edit that product, with Yoast SEO, when I scroll down underneath, I now have this SEO section, and here then I can set a focus key phrase. So the focus key phrase is the whole theme of the page. What is this page basically going to be about? So it's an indication to Google about the sort of content it's going to be in this page, and you can see that I've optimized for the key phrase Adidas Originals Trainer. When you scroll down here, you get a preview of what's known as your snippet. And the snippet is basically showing you how that will show up in a Google search engine result page. And there's the mobile result and there's the desktop result. So the desktop is probably one we're more familiar with, the blue clickable link, the green URL, and then the gray meta description that we see on a Google search engine result page. And you can edit that and you can change that. Now with the SEO title, you have a certain amount of characters that you can type in. Once you start going over that amount of characters, you'll see that the line will go red, and that means then that stuff will be kind of cut off in the search engine result page. So you want to keep it within the green. So I've set it up in such a way here that I've got the focus key phrase also that I set up here in the SEO title, sort of page title, and then I've also got Ireland's largest sports shop, and then the brand, which is sportshop.ie, or at least a fictional brand, at the end of the URL. The slug here then is the green URL that shows up, so Adidas Originals Stan Smith. So I'm just making sure that I have Adidas Originals in there, because when a person looks at this, in their mind they're ticking a lot of boxes. They've done a search for Adidas Originals Trainer, and they're seeing the words here, Adidas Originals Trainer, and they're seeing Adidas Originals here, and then they're seeing it also here in their meta description. So all of this is just reinforcing to that customer that this is the solution to the problem that they're having. Down here as well, look, your meta description. Here you can build up that meta description, and you can put in little calls to action, and you can change that bit of text there to make a person actually want to click in. And again, you can see that as you start typing, it will start going from orange to green, which is the optimal length, and then red means you've used too many characters. So I really could optimize that one a little bit better. And down here then at the bottom, you can see there's a hidden or a drop down for the SEO analysis for this page. And if I drop that down, I'll get a traffic light system that's telling me where I'm doing well and where I'm not doing so well. So you can see here, internal links. There's no internal links, meaning this page is not linking to another page. There are no outbound links, so there's no backlinks coming into that page. So, you know, maybe if we go back to the idea of the the engineering supplies company, maybe one of your suppliers for a specific product range, they could send a link over to that specific page. The text length. The text contains 3 words. Now, there is a question of what is the optimal text length for a page in terms of SEO, and you'll see sometimes when you go online, some people will tell you it should be X amount of words. Now, Google themselves will say it should be as long as it takes to answer the question that a person has. Now, with my 3 words, they're probably not going to get much information if they're looking to buy runners. But if you think about another search, what is the capital of Ireland? That page only has to have 1 word as a result. So, you know, if a person asks what's the capital of Ireland, it only needs the word Dublin on a page, and that answers the question. Whereas if somebody is asking a complex question, it requires more text. So basically just put in as much text there as you think would answer a question for a person. Now, obviously in my case here, 3 words is just not enough. I should really describe the product instead of just saying it's an Adidas Originals trainer. I should put in a proper description of it, what sizes it's available in, what colors it's available in, how soon would they have it if they ordered, all of that those sort of questions that people would ask around making a purchase online. So Yoast SEO, then, that allows you to change that or add that focus key phrase, and then change or edit that snippet to work that focus key phrase in there, and then again down here The SEO analysis then will tell you where you need to work so that you can improve the copy that you've got. And don't forget that little hierarchy of fathead at the very top, those generic type keywords, down to the long tail keywords, the descriptions, the much broader descriptions at a product level. And if I was to optimize this website, I would work through all of my pages, my home page, and I'd optimize that for generic fathead keywords. And then my product categories, I would have those slightly less generic. And then as I work down through my actual products themselves, I'd make sure that they're really, really specific in terms of long tail keywords. And you can do that in WordPress. If I go to my products, look at my categories, for example, I can edit, say, my runners category here, and down at the bottom of that you'll have the Yoast SEO block. If you go to any of your blog posts, if you go into posts, for example, my first blog post there, if I scroll down again, look, I can optimize here using the Yoast SEO block. So that is what you would have to do on a WordPress website. You'll have to go through the whole process, obviously, of doing your keyword research and then kind of theming specific pages around a concept, and then hoping that the keywords that you're using, the key phrases that you're using, the copy that you're using answers the user's search intent, the problem that the person types into Google about, and you're hoping then that you will show up as the solution for that problem.